As colleagues, we decided to come together as the Information Systems Department, as the Chemistry Department, as well as the isiXhosa Department to form a multidisciplinary research project that would explore enhancing teaching and learning considering the Fourth Industrial Revolution within the chemistry field. As we all know, STEM learning can be quite difficult to explain difficult concepts to students or complex concepts to students, and we wanted to find an interactive way of using the new immersive technology, specifically looking at augmented reality and enhanced teaching and learning for students within chemistry.
So the contribution made by isiXhosa Department pertains to the fact that this university takes students in from the surrounding community that speak mainly isiXhosa and also speak mainly Afrikaans. But what we've done is to be able to take the content that is already existing within the chemistry department to convert it to isiXhosa. What we aim to achieve with this is that the student has now a choice. If they have done Xhosa as a first language at school, they will now have an option of having the content in the language of their preference. It's a pilot. We want to see how it will go and then explore other languages as well. But one would note that when especially looking at the periodic table and all the elements, they're all in English. We do not have a library of words in isiXhosa that can say what the elements are. So what the isiXhosa department is doing now is to look at the periodic table and convert everything that we now know existing on the periodic table and giving it a Xhosa name to represent what it is, but also to remain it within the context that we want the learners to be able to communicate in.
I've attached my MA candidates to both programs, where they look at the translation process, and contextualizing the materials and say their readability, making the students from the concept background to access those fields of study in languages that talk to them, because some people, they tend to be left behind, or they are regarded as being slow, whereas they're very, very smart, very intelligent. But because now they still have to make sense of the terms that are in English, which are very technical, so they spend most of the time with the dictionary before they get to the content, trying to make sense of them. By the time they get started with the program, others whose mother tongue is English or who have been exposed to English much earlier due to privilege and all that are already far ahead from them. So now we are trying to make it a point that each and every student that comes to UWC can access, these disciplines, in languages that talk to them.
As this is a long-term project, there have been many lessons learned within the research perspective of what we've been finding so far. But what has been great is, as we are using different platforms, one of them is actually a platform of a young startup outside the university who we've been working with. It was actually great to hear the experiences of the students within the classroom context, because our original design perspective of the type of augmented reality tool that they would want to use can now be enhanced on the experiences of what the students felt that would be a better interface design, would be better content to actually place on the technology that we're actually using. And we found that our students are actually quite advanced with augmented and virtual reality applications, much more than we actually expected, which really challenged us to go back and relook the design perspective and ensuring that we interlink it well to the teaching and learning outcomes that we actually aim to achieve within the research projects.
We've noticed that the technology which has been presented unto us allows students to select an element on the periodic table that is projected through augmented reality. But not only that, it actually shows the amount of electrons. It also shows where the electrons are situated in the orbitals. Now, this is a difficult concept for a first-year student to visualize, especially as a lecturer when speaking to them in the classroom. So the technology allows the students to actually see that it is the electrons at the outer orbitals that are able to form a bond with the different atoms. So this has been really very valuable in the chemistry department.